welcome to the European Song Contest rehearsal in this single session. My name is Asta Vallenius, and I'm today having the pleasure to introduce you to both today's team and then speaker. First, probably it's been told, but still to acknowledge Ministry of the Employment and Economy as funding these series of single sessions that we are running in the cluster. Today, I guess you are collaborating with ICT cluster and have about 50 participants in Rovaniemi, Tampere, Salo, and here in Helsinki. And the theme you have come to hear about is mobile web and applications and delivering the right experience to the right customer. And the reason why this topic was chosen is that still compared with the competing countries of Finland, we seem to lack a bit on the mobile presence of Finnish locations and companies as in the mobile channel and kind of enhancing the experiences of the international visitors to Finland. So we are very happy that today our guest speaker is Dave Slocombe from Lastminute.com in London. And then Dave is an innovation thought leader and lean practitioner. And he is currently leading the Lastminute.com's mobile team, which is delivering global mobile platforms and services to its group companies and brands. And formerly, Dave worked as the head of strategy and services at Hitachi Ltd and as director of the design consultancy Project Bureaun. Lastminute.com, as many of you probably are aware, is UK's leading online travel and leisure retailer. They have over 1.65 million visitors per week. 1/3 of Finns, for example, would go there on a weekly basis. And since its launch in 1998, the company has grown into a worldwide business. In 2005, the company was purchased by Travel City, and one of the founders recently, she was, what's the word, the Queen.
Oh, gave her an honor.
Honor, yeah. So,
Fox.
yeah, so lady nowadays.
Yeah?
Yeah, Lady of Soho or whatever is going on in Twitter. Okay, but hey, they have received a number of awards, and that's why Dave is here today. They have, for example, received the British Travel Award for Best Holiday Attraction Ticket Provider, Top 10 Website Award at the Experian Hitwise Top 10 Awards, and then Innovation in Multi-Channel Marketing winner at the e-Consultancy Innovation Awards. So there are a lot of learnings both as to the mobile and to the approach how this type of services can be developed. So let us all welcome Dave.
So that is a forward.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm going to go. Where am I? On the screen. Can everybody see me? Hello, everybody, and everybody on the video link as well. Thanks for joining me. So, yeah, thanks for the waves. Great. So today I'm here to talk about mobile webs and apps, and about delivering the right experience to the customer and the right product. So hopefully today I can show you some tools and techniques we use at Lastminute.com when we're managing our mobile customer base that you can take away and apply to your business. And really, when I present, hopefully I give you these tools that you can make sense of. And if they don't make sense, talk to me afterwards and we'll work it through. So today I can move the mouse around. Let me try. I'm just going to use the arrows. Okay, there we go. So just have a quick snapshot of the market. If we look at UK market here, we've seen growth over the last 3 years, around 100% year on year. Really the important gauges in the travel sector is really around what is growing. So if we look at desktop traffic, your PC laptops, the search query growth for desktop is not growing. If you were to invest today in any business, you would look at these figures. You look at 68% year-on-year growth in mobile search queries. You look at tablets, 180% year-on-year growth in search queries. So if you were to start your business today, or your new venture today, where would you start? And the mobile customer is not just about new devices and new formats. It's actually about different behaviors. So having a mobile phone in your pocket not only means that you can access it any time you want, it changes the way you expect to access products. It changes your perception of when you can get something, because you can take your phone out of your pocket, you can search for something, you can get the app and access it instantly. You have customer expectations are increasingly growing towards, I want it now. So to evidence that, look at this. Some more stats from Google, and Google's a good gauge on their search volumes. They provide very good indicators. Search queries around last-minute type of queries. So, for example, I want a hotel now. I want a flight tomorrow. So, I want it now, as quickly as possible. All those search terms associated with that, same-day delivery, all those kind of things. The growth there, particularly in the travel market, air, 41% of search queries are now with last-minute terms attached. So, flying within 48 hours. That's a huge number of searches. 26% for holiday packages. So that means customers expect to be able to sit down on the sofa with their tablet, look for a holiday, and pop off that weekend. They expect that kind of product responsiveness, which has a big impact on the way you supply and design your businesses to deliver this kind of inventory, the kind of product you select, the way you deliver the customer service around that product. Again, here accommodation, 33% of searches are last minute related. So people wanting to stay somewhere, they want to stay there now. They want to have access. They believe with the mobile phone, that's something that provides them that kind of access. And just from Lastminute.com point of view, we're Lastminute.com in Europe, so we cover Europe, UK, France, Spain, Italy, etc. In the Nordic region, we're Resfeber, and in the US, we're Travelocity. So we have quite a global view of how the travel market is evolving. But just to talk to Europe, where I manage, so we have 100 to 200% year-on-year growth for the last 3 years running. Now, this won't continue forever as the shift to mobile is happening, but it is a once-in-a-decade kind of shift, and it's already well underway. There's a lot of talk of apps, mobile web. What should I build first? You might have your CEO going, where's our app? Or you might have your customers going, I'm trying to use your website on my mobile phone. I can't click the buttons. It's too small. I can't understand how to use it. So where should you go? Now, every sector and every business and every vertical has its own kind of customer base. So you need to understand your own customer base. And we're going to talk a lot about how you understand your customer base today. So if we look here in the travel sector, so we're going to just talk about travel, because that's what I do. That's what you do as well, I hear. When booking travel on a mobile device, customers are primarily searching through their mobile browser. They expect to pick their phone out of their pocket, do a Google search or a Bing search, and be able to pull up the results they want as an entry into your product. If we look here, overnight accommodations, 3 times as many business and leisure customers use their mobile browser to get access to products than use apps. So this is a great acquisition channel. Using the mobile web, if we look here, these green bars are all using the mobile browser. They're all greater than using app. And that's because the mobile web is a great acquisition channel. You want to find customers, you want to respond to customers. Mobile web is the great way, using all the tools you know from e-commerce on the desktop web, but now you need to respond quicker and make it available on the mobile web. So my message there is really focus on your acquisition channel, getting your customers in from the mobile website. And to do that, you have to be present. So we can talk about some of the tools you can use to understand your customer base and get your product in the right place. So we're talking about knowing your customer life cycle. What's the customer life cycle? It's the journey the customer goes through when they come to your site, service, and understanding each step of that. So here's our model I put together for our customer base. You'll obviously want to customize this for yourself, your own sector, but talking you through how we use this, you can get an idea of how to use it. So if we start by search, working around clockwise around the wheel, customer comes in via search or perhaps via inspiration. They come around to planning, they're planning their trip, they're validating. Validating is me asking my partner, okay, is this the right hotel? Or, oh no, I need a pool. Okay, and then checking, I got the wrong hotel, I should change the hotel. So that whole validation, is it the right price? Is it the right location? Does my partner like it? Is it good for the business trip? And then booking, paying for your service, to the post-trip experience where you're actually traveling and then you're sharing your experience, you're reviewing the experience afterwards, all the way back around to the beginning. Now we see this, I've color-coded it. So we have pink is web, so it could be desktop web, it could be mobile web. But as I talked about from the Google statistics, our primary channel for acquisition to get customers into the wheel is via web. But when we look around here, and I've color-coded it to app, this is where we see in the travel sector the app can play the most valuable role. Once you've got customers who've booked with you the first time, how can an app add value to your business and your service? How can it help retention? Make the customer come back. So the second booking is even easier. And you remember who they are. You're providing them content relevant to the services they bought from you. And being able to use that to enhance and deepen the relationship for the second time around might be driven by the app. I've also color-coded save cycle and spend cycle. So if we look at the web, traditionally people shopping for travel, price comparison, they like to get a good deal. They know they can browse around. It's a competitive market all the way, right? So when people are searching, they're in save mode. They're thinking, I don't want to spend more than €150 on the hotel. I'm going to search until I find all the features I want and get the right hotel. So I think they have all that time to do this because they're in the planning stage. But that's a lot reduced when you're on mobile web. You'll find customers much more brand loyal. If the service works once on mobile web, our feedback from our customers is they'll come back because it works. And that's a slight paradigm change from desktop to mobile web. Once you come around to the save cycle, you have your spend cycle. Now, you've all done this. So you've thought about the holiday, you've bought the package, you've gone there, and then your wallet was completely open because you went clubbing, you went to this sightseeing, you rented jet skis. You're in the spend mode. You want to have fun. You're not price comparing the restaurants on the beachfront. You're going, which one has the biggest fish? So you're in exciting mode. You want to spend. So how can you get your product in front of customers when they're on location, where they are, that's relevant to what they need? There's lots of opportunities to the mobile as the communication channel to make that happen. So when looking at your business, first of all, understand your mobile traffic. If you're thinking about mobile web. There's all kinds of traffic. SEO, where you're ranking in the search engines. Paid, are you advertising in Google or Bing or something like that? What sort of revenue is that generating you? What sort of customer is that bringing you? You have direct traffic. How strong is your brand? Is your brand present? Is it clear? Does it reflect your product proposition? Social, viral, affiliates. So, social channels. Half of all Twitter access is via mobile phone now. Half of all Facebook access is via mobile phone. So if you want to talk to the mobile customer, being on those channels is great. Affiliates, are you selling your products? Are you co-marketing or creating partnerships with other companies to get your product out there? So understand what this traffic is. What devices they're coming into your site on. So I would never use a gauge of market share. So you hear a lot of stats around Apple has such market share versus Android, but Android is growing market share. But that's really not very relevant to our day-to-day. What we need to look at is your actual data from your own website to tell you what customers are visiting, what devices are our customers using when they visit us. Because I tell you, the picture at Lastminute.com is very different to the market share. So Android might have a 50-50 market share, for example. But at Lastminute.com, there are a minority of customers because we index much higher on the Apple products. Apple products being early adopters and matching the kind of customer that we look for, the 4- and 5-star hotel type customer that we supply. So for us, the devices people use that you should support technologically may not be what's the coolest thing on the biggest poster on the high street. It actually might be something else. So understand the data. When a customer comes to your site, your service, your product, do you know who they are? Can you identify from all of your traffic and all of your business customers, who are the 1% of customers that generate 10% of your revenue, or the 10% of customers that generate 50% of your revenue? Because they're very important customers to know. And particularly online, you can segment your customers. You can say, these customers coming in How are they performing? What are they buying? When are they buying? Are they a repeat customer? Are we able to upsell them? And understanding when a customer that's a high value, in the gambling world, they call them the high rollers, right? So they get a special client manager, and they spend millions of pounds in the casino. They get free drinks, they get food, anything to keep them in the casino. Same thing online. So you get a high roller for your business hitting your site. How do you go the extra mile, either through your service or the extra layer communication you can give them? So for example, if we look around the outside of my wheel, we have offline, and that's our call center. So we have dedicated customer care for our high-value customers. So that we know if they contact us, they go straight to the front of the queue, because they can generate more revenue in one booking than perhaps 500 other customers. So they need to have that kind of support, and they expect it as well. So identify your high-value cohort, we call it, your high-value group, and understand their motivations. What do they need from your service? It may not match your own impression of what the whole customer base wants. And what we find in particular products is that a high-value customer wants just, for example, in hotels, they just want it to work. They want it to work fast, and they want to be able to use their own previous history to find a great deal again, but really it's all about the location. So for us, understanding that and delivering quick repeat booking is more important than perhaps for the rest of the customer base is about having great prices across a large range of destinations, which is two different directions for a business to go in, and how do you balance those? Be discoverable. If you're going to play in mobile, then make sure you're discoverable. You need to be available. Just having a mobile website doesn't mean you're going to get business. You need to market. So search, social, affiliate channels, we talked about those. How do you market in those? There are lots of free ways and low entry ways. There are lots of paid ways that you can manage depending on your scale of business. But really the point is, you probably know all of this, you've been in the web business a long time, it's about getting around this wheel as fast as possible. How can I get a customer from search to booking as fast as possible? And we do that, you have to reduce friction. I'm going to talk today about methods we use to reduce the friction and how we can demonstrate examples of reducing friction. So a customer's desire minus the friction that your site provides, how difficult is your site to use, equals your conversion rate, equals how much business you're going to get. So our job is to make the friction, the user experience, as small as possible. And by doing that, by listening to the customer, using tools of getting the customer input and customer feedback, we can reduce that as much as possible. And an easy way to do that is to find focus. You might look at your whole product. You might have 10 different products in several different countries. You may have 15 different websites. Perhaps you have stores. How do you get this all optimized for mobile? It's a massive task. Do you need to have everything working, booking and search and all these kind of things you can build in? It can be daunting. But really, if you look at the customer base, you can find the one or two things that they really, really need and focus on those. And we've implemented the same at Lastminute.com. You can imagine we're in lots of countries, lots of languages, lots of currencies, lots of different products. It's not possible to migrate a global product over to mobile in 6 months. It's just not possible. So you pick your highest targets first and you work through those. In fact, the market will move so fast, in 6 months' time, once you've delivered those, your pitch will have changed again. So focus on doing one thing well and keep optimizing it. Don't try and change your whole business into mobile. And understand the value of an app in your sector. So for travel, for us, it's around changing from an acquisition cycle on the web to converting a subset of our customers to loyal customers. Customers that can use the app, that would encourage the reuse and encourage enhanced experience. So using the benefits of the app, being able to store things offline, being able to have access to rich content and things like this, like video, etc., that might be difficult to deliver over the mobile web, speeds and things like that. So, where does it fit in your customer lifecycle? Starting with an app on the acquisition channel is a challenge, because apps are expensive to market. They're expensive to manage and they're expensive to update. Easiest way, how quick is a web page to put up? You could probably do this in 15 minutes. Put up a web page and start trading. A web page, a phone number, a proposition, and you can be doing business. With an app, the cycle time is much longer. So really, when you're investing in an app, know where you're going. Know your customer before you've done that. And in fact, you can prototype most of it on the web before you even get to an app. So I'm going to talk about your customer's context now. And this is largely driven by many factors, what people are doing at what time of day, but different devices have different contexts. So mobile, we looked at the data. It's driven by, it's location aware. This phone knows where you are. It's driven by behaviors. Customers expect that last-minute purchasability. They want it now. They don't want to wait. It's with you. You take it in store. A classic scenario for us is a customer might go to a hotel. I've seen it myself as well in our researching. They go to a hotel. They look at the prices on the wall. They sit down and they get out the tablet. They go to Lastminute.com and they check for the prices using the location-based search. And they find a better price on Lastminute.com. They buy it there and they go to the desk and say, and then they go and check it. So the way people are accessing products is very different now. And how do traditional bricks and mortar, they have to start working with the online business because it's moving that way already. If you look at the tablet, we see larger purchases on the tablet. It tends to be, it may be a personal device, but it's a family device as well. People tend to buy the larger products, holidays, flights. We see the booking length is longer. Overall average booking value is higher. Similar with PC as well. I see there quite a lot of overlap, but tablet is 100% replacing the PC as your travel companion. So if you're thinking back in our customer wheel around the customers traveling, what have they got with them? Well, they've got these. So if you've got destination content or destination products, that's where you need to be marketing. I'm going to talk about one case study here about how data around the mobile customer can give you real insights about your customer base you wouldn't have in the previous paradigm of desktop. I don't know if you can make out the outline of United Kingdom here. This is the United Kingdom. We took a year's worth of data from a service called Phone Food. Phone Food is a mobile restaurant booking app that we launched back in 2008 and serves thousands of restaurants to customers all around the UK. You can also search by your location. So we looked at all of our inventory, all of our restaurants that we have in the books. This is all the locations of the restaurants. And then we took a year's worth of searches for those restaurants. Where were the customers when they were searching for the restaurants? We put them on a map too. That's why there's a lot more dots, because there's a lot more searches. So these are user searches for restaurants. Now, it's from your chair right now, you can do some strategic analysis for Lastminute.com. It's quite easy. Can you spot any inventory, any gaps in our restaurants? Somewhere, some location in the UK where we could sign up more restaurants because there's more demand than there is supply. Can you spot anywhere?
Yeah, Northern Ireland. The east corner there.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Quite easy, right? Now, looking at the location-based search here, this is Manchester and Liverpool. Wow, we've got not many here. We do very well in the southeast. I think we've got it covered. But here we've got a big supply gap. And this is where customers actually are, not where their credit card's registered, not where traditionally you do your postcoding around your product. This is where they actually are. And we know the booking window. They want a hotel or a restaurant. They're not booking in a week in advance. They're booking tonight or tomorrow. That's when people book restaurants on the mobile. So we know they're nearby. So we know we need a lot here at Scotland as well. I have to apologise to the Scots. We have not enough there either. So the example here is looking at your mobile customer data, you can get new insights you would not have had before. We thought other questions. What if you've got this data and we can play with it? We thought, what else can we ask of this data? What else can we learn about the customer? So we hypothesized lots of different scenarios. One of them was, it's quite relevant in Finland, I think, how far will people travel to a restaurant in the winter compared to in the summer? So we know where the customer is when they're searching. Then they do a search, Chinese restaurant, and then they pick a restaurant because they like it from the results. Then we go, okay, how far away are they? And then we do that for a whole year's worth of data. I'm sure you can guess the answer, but we validated it by showing it with real evidence. So here, this is the distance. The height of the bar is the distance in kilometers. These are just the summer months, April, May, June in UK. And this is October, November, December, the winter months in UK. And it's quite obvious, isn't it? Customers are prepared to travel 40 to 50% further in the summer than they are in the winter, which does have profound effects on marketing, where we're marketing, when we're marketing, has profound effects on supply. Who do we want to supply? Where do we want to scale up inventory? So have we got enough available tables for the restaurants in the winter months focused around particular hotspots? And actually you can target, you can send your supply teams almost to the right, GPS location and say, go there and find a restaurant and sign people up, sign up these restaurants so that we can match supply according to the summer months and the winter months. So mobile gives this new dimension of location, and really it's not as, you think, oh, I can do a location-based search, everybody talks about that. It's when you start to look at your business and intersect it with location and start to analyze that data, you start to understand how to make a strategy out of it, and how to understand where I go as a business, the decisions you need to make to be profitable. So to focus and grow, you need to do one thing well on mobile. Customers don't like massive complexity on mobile, they like it simple. Borne out by, we test every week in Lastminute.com, and the more features you put on a website, probably the worse it performs. So you've got to do one thing well, as far as product proposition and user experience. So I'm going to talk through a case study of our Lastminute.com app, which we launched in the United States first, and talk about some of the key features that we learned connecting customer feedback to why the app is the way it is. So our goals, as we talked about earlier, were reduce friction, make it as easy as possible to get from search to booking so that we get a customer. We don't want them to drop off, get stuck halfway through, right? So we know from talking to our customers, looking at our data, that the majority of all our hotel searches are for tonight, or tomorrow, or the next day. So a 3-day booking window, we call that. So we didn't design a calendar. You've all booked online. We didn't have a calendar. Pick your check-in date, close the calendar. Pick your check-out date, close the calendar, and then search. No. 3 buttons. It's all about focus. Do one thing right. Tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. So the customer clicks that, they get the results. We know that covers the majority of our customer, enables faster booking, gets people in that purchase process as quickly as possible. If you know the acronym KISS, Keep It Simple Stupid, you should use it, write it on your walls in the office, keep it up there. When people are talking about adding loads of cool stuff to your website, to your business, point at the sign. We know customers are location-based searching. We know they're booking tonight, tomorrow, or the next day, which means the majority are booking near where they are. The majority, not all. So we put it on the map view, naturally as a default. They want a price compare on the list. Of course, they want to see what's the best price for them. They need to just make that decision around, can I afford it? So we put the prices 2 on the map. And also we have other kind of secret deals we try and promote to them on the map. But map view, location-based makes sense, right? So satisfy the need. There's some subtle details on the hotel details page here. Subtle features, I'd say. Now, we know from a customer, primarily they choose a location based on imagery is number 1. The rating is number 2. And after that, the features, facilities that the property can give them. So we have in our databases perhaps up to 200 different facilities for every hotel that we have. On a mobile phone, on a desktop PC, it's great because people can look through, they can scan it, it's very easy to see. There's lots of room to put all this big list, but on the mobile we don't. So what we did was we had 6. The 6 most important across all of our customers, by talking to our customers and listening to them, what were the 6 most important features you need to know about to make a decision? So you'll probably understand what they are when I read them out. Does it have a gym? Does it have a pool? Does it have a meeting room? Okay, there we've got our leisure customer, we've got our business customer. Does it have dining? Can I eat there? So, business customer, want to stay in the hotel, get the dinner. Business center, and does it have internet? Those are the 6 most important things people need to know. We might have 200, but we put the effort in to develop software so they would only show 6. And it's more work showing 6 than showing 200. So you have to make more effort technologically to show that. But it's worth it because it keeps it simple. And you'll find keeping it simple can often be more difficult than just throwing everything at the customer. but what you lose is simplicity. You've got a simple product, customers are coming in, they're converting on your site, you're doing great, but this is a competitive marketplace. Lots of customers, lots of business can be set up overnight. Travel, accommodation, flights. You look at the explosion in online businesses and travel. How do you get cut through? Call it cut through. How do you deliver wow to your customers so they remember your brand name? Increase your SEO value. So they remember your company when they want to come back the next time they search. You need to deliver wow. You need to deliver something more than just a great experience. So just a small example. In our app, for Lastminute.com hotel booking, against our goals of reducing friction and keeping it simple, we deliver wow to. So here we made a faster checkout. Customer can pick up their credit card, they can hold it up to their phone, the phone scans the credit card and puts all the numbers into the credit card fields, your name, name, credit card number, expiry date, issue date, dumps it all into the phone for you. So there's 22 fields in a credit card checkout form traditionally, and we just got rid of 10 by doing that. So that's a nice simple way customers can, and actually more than half of our customers use this feature in the app. So you're delivering a wow, people talk about it, they go, wow, that was different, new, I like that, they'll tell their friends, but also it kept it focused. We're still delivering a faster experience, a better experience. We weren't creating a fancy augmented reality checkout with a virtual store clerk and chatting to you, going, oh, come into my store. It wasn't anything fancy. It's very, very functional, but also wow. So focus on, you want to deliver wow, focus it around reducing the friction. And wow delivers in the business sense. So, marketing-wise, being featured by Apple on the homepage of Apple is worth a lot of money in business terms as far as downloads. It gets traction in press and things like that. So you've got a reason to talk from your PR point of view, to talk to magazines, to talk to promoters around what you're doing. And it gets you featured as well. So we got featured by Apple on the new and noteworthy sections and things like that. That helps when you've just spent an enormous amount of money developing an application. Getting great publicity is a great feedback to the board, even because you start at 0 downloads. I can turn on a mobile website tomorrow and 1 million customers will visit it very quickly. Turn on an app tomorrow, you start at 0 and then you get 1, and you get 2, 3, 4, like that. Because you have to get people to download it, then they have to use it, and all of that costs money and time. So press is a great kickoff. How am I doing time-wise? Okay, good. So now I'm going to go to the sort of second part of my presentation, really. Hopefully there are some useful tools in the first part. In the second part, I'm going to talk about putting the customer first. We've talked about giving the right experience. Now I'm going to talk about putting the customer first. I'm going to talk through various ways that you can do that yourselves, and most of them are free and easy. They just require confidence. And I'll show you some examples. So to put your customer first, you have to know who your customer is. And to do that, you need to get out of the building. That's physically or virtually, to get out of the building. Many of you might know Lean Startup Machine. I'm not sure if they've been to Finland, but they've been all over the world. That's one of their mantras. Because customer feedback can help you understand your direction faster and quicker than pretty much any other way. And how do we do that? So here's examples from Lastminute.com mobile team. Here's one of our mobile engineers, front-end engineer. We call it guerrilla testing. You go to the coffee shop on the corner. There's a little webcam connected. This is one of the mobile website. We were just testing a new version of 2 different flights results that day. I said, okay, we haven't got any customers booked to come into the office. Go down to the coffee shop. For £3 or €3, you buy them. I'm not sure how much coffee is here, actually. Maybe it's €10. Maybe for €3, you buy someone a coffee, and they give you user testing. They give you great feedback. And you can use that to go back in, tell the team, okay, the customer valued this, they didn't value that. And instantly and free. In-house. Now, we get customers in every week at Lastminute.com. So our mobile team, we work every week. We release new features, functionality to our products. We work very fast cycle, which means we need to talk to customers every single week. So we have an in-house testing. So here we're testing a hotels field. The red dots are actually eye tracking. It's just cool technology. We don't really use it. It just looks good. I wouldn't recommend it. But I would say getting customers in, all you want is the real feedback. Customers telling you, this made sense, this didn't make sense. Challenging your expectations from a user experience point of view, challenging what you think the product means. Because you can sit in your office and imagine a whole world. But you put it in front of the customer, you'll very, very quickly find their expectations are very different to your own. Another way we've done testing before is the sandwich board. So earlier, this actually can be also kind of team building way. The sandwich board is where you take a big board and you've got some designs on it and you go out with some chocolates or something on the street. So sometimes we grab the whole team and we go out onto the market with a big sandwich board. That's just a piece of card. We call it a sandwich board in the UK. I don't know what you would call it here. A placard, a poster with different designs on it. And we go and ask customers, would you come and tell us what you think of this and tell us stories about your travel? So we would design a new holidays homepage. So we get them to tell us stories about their travel. And we start to look at that against our understanding of the whole customer base. So we get real customer voice back in early on around the designs of our new product. And when you're talking with key stakeholders, investors, or your board, directors, telling them direct customer feedback that took you 20 minutes to get, it's very, very powerful. If you say, a customer said this, it's very difficult to argue against the customer, isn't it? It's great to have the customer on your side. Another great way, requires a bit more effort and investment in time, is the pop-up studio. If you've got a new business direction you're trying to set out, we had a new app at the time. We wanted to set out what would the vision for our new app be. We've got all these ideas. In fact, we had 80 concepts. Now, I'm not sure how you view it like this, but we view a concept or an idea as worthless, absolutely meaningless. Throw it away. We have 80 things we can throw away. But what we want to do is find out which one has value. And of those 80 things, we want to get rid of 75 of them because they're wasting our time and focus on the 3 to 5 things that actually will generate a business and give value to our customer. So how do we do that? You can imagine, 80 new concepts for an application. How do we test that quickly? So the challenge was to test all these concepts in 1 week, arrive at 3 to 5 high-quality solutions that customers loved. Not just but loved. So our solution was a pop-up studio. Talk about how you can do your own pop-up studio. Here's a kind of the format. Essentially, we used the Cumberland Hotel, which is in central London. Now, we understand our customer base. We talked to our supply team, found out which is our top producing hotels in London, which has the most Lastminute.com customers checking in every day. So we knew at this hotel, we have 100 plus Lastminute.com customers checking in every day. So we have a high propensity to find our customers in that location. There's also 300 other customers who may have booked on competitor websites or directly coming in every day as well. We want to talk to them too. We just create a social space, somewhere that engages, creates the atmosphere of conversation, creates the atmosphere that you're trying to make an effort and do something new. So social space, obviously the food and drink and things like that. And an iteration wall. Iteration wall is probably the most important element of this pop-up studio. The iteration wall helps you you're going to get so much feedback in 4 days from customers. You're going to talk to hundreds of customers each day. And if you're not managing that feedback, then you're going to drown in it. And you'll end up with a massive pile of papers and sketches and reports. At the end of the week, you still don't know which way to go. So the iteration wall is about how you focus that feedback and make decisions on the fly, in real time. Who needs to go? So a pop-up design studio, well, here's myself, so I'm the project lead, so I set what's the goal for the week. And I'm there every day, looking at the process, trying to always improve the process so that the feedback from the customer is more effectively analysed and more effectively, as quickly as possible, get to the next iteration. We have development, so our engineer, this guy here, his team will be asked to build this. So it's good for them to know who the customer is. Who are they building for? Engineers are not machines. It's good to know when they're coding something and they're looking at a design and trying to understand, well, I can program it this way, but it's not quite the same as the design. And they've got these challenges in their head, they can think and actually go, I actually understand some of the motivations of the customer here. And they're going to have that discussion. They're part of the team. A business analyst, essentially they help, I say, beat the rhythm of the drum. So you'll have people in pairs working together to go out and talk to customers. And then he'll go after, say, 45 minutes, go and pull them all back together and make them talk about all of their experiences and help flesh out the value of that information. Help find out what was the meaning behind that. Some feedback, but what does that mean? We have user researchers and user experience. So they're specialists, they know what they're doing. They're happy to talk to customers all day long, and we'll use them to help, open the customers up. That's also very great at sketching. So you want to sketch out new ideas quickly. You get them sketching in front of the customers and co-creating. And very importantly as well, we need a product owner. The one person who says yes or no about where we're going. So he sets the KPI, key performance indicator, for hotels as a business overall. So when we're building an app for hotels, he wants to know that it's the direction we're going in the right direction. Is it going to deliver against his goals? It may be conversion or revenue or whatever, loyalty. And he helps get prioritization around the feedback. Most important thing is we all talk to the customers. I don't sit back and watch everybody from afar with binoculars. No, we go out and talk to all the customers, everybody. In fact, we bring more people in as well. Bring in engineers from teams. We bring in marketing, brought in trading. In fact, we brought in across the business, invited them to come in. And people would come in and pair up. So you'd have two people, somebody experienced and somebody inexperienced, going and talk to the customer. So you'd have one person with some concepts they want to ask the customer about, and the other person with some post-it notes, writing down one piece of feedback on each post-it note. So you tell me, I didn't like this idea because of this. One piece of feedback on one post-it, stick it on the bottom. Another piece of feedback on one post-it, stick it on the bottom. So what you end up with is a nice pile of single pieces of feedback from the customer and somebody who's been able to manage the conversation and build a relationship. And that's where the wall comes in. So most important part of managing, we use this in the office as well in different ways. But during this week, essential. So here we have our idea backlog, essentially. That's an idea, idea, lots of it. We had a stack of ideas. So you put an idea up on the wall. You go out in your pair, talk to the customers, and we set a rule, well, you need to talk to at least 4 customers about every idea before we'll make a decision about it. So go out, talk to 4 customers. And here we have all of the feedback, individual pieces of feedback from different customers. And then we ask them to rate it as well. So we ask them to say, oh, what did you think about that idea? They give us the feedback. What did you think of that idea? And they might say a 5. Then they don't care. They probably don't like it, actually. 5 is like, generally they don't like it. If they give you a 7, they don't care. You're on a 9 or a 10. If it's a 9 or a 10, we're going to think about that idea. Because you've got so many ideas that 5, 6, 7s, people are polite, right? They don't want to hurt you. It's like saying you've got an ugly baby. I don't like your idea, right? So I'll give you a 5. 5's nice, right? So like, no, 5, 6, 7 we hate. 8, 9, 10 we love. So focus on those. So we've got the scores up there too. So this idea, 8, 10, 8, 9. Borderline, what would the decision be? Do we get more feedback? Do we listen to the feedback of the 10 and the 9, see what they really loved about it and improve it? And just in 4 hours, 42 interviews. This was just the first day I took the photo when we were trying to cut through 80 ideas in a day. So 4 hours, 42 interviews. Of that, 4 or 5 pieces of feedback from each person. So we're talking hundreds of pieces of feedback. So if you're not organized, you're going to drown. But what we do get is a great indicator of strong idea, weak idea, strong idea. How to get rid of them quickly. So when you've come back, you've got your feedback from your customer, you've gone out, made the effort, you talked to somebody, had a great conversation, got the feedback from the customer, they liked this idea, they didn't like it, or they had a problem doing this before, this other company does it better than you, whatever their feedback is, get it. And then when you have everybody together, you bring everybody back together and they tell everybody about their experience. They say, talk about the feedback from the customer. Then the product owner, talked about earlier, decides. Do we park it? Parking, the idea could be, it's such a no-brainer, everybody loved it, we're not going to waste our time talking to customers anymore, we should just go in and design it and work on it. Parking, it might be, it's too complicated right now. Customers are not understanding it, we think there's value in it, but we haven't really articulated the idea well enough. So maybe we'll park it and deal with it later. Because you want to keep momentum. pivot would be customers didn't like the overall idea, but they liked one element of the idea. So I'm proposing perhaps renting hotel rooms by the hour. How's that? Renting hotel rooms by the hour. Do they like it? Well, it sounds a bit seedy, but actually, if I was staying on a transfer from a flight, then I might want a hotel for a couple of hours while I have a nap and then get the next flight. So I like that. Okay, so we won't do hotels by the hour for everybody. We'll do hotels by the hour for flight transfers. And that might be a way you focus the idea, pivot the idea towards something of value. Or persevere could be where feedback is borderline. We like it. Let's go and find out more feedback. And then make a decision. My favorite, of course, is kill. You want to shoot the ideas that are wasting your time. Every time there's an idea on the board or in your head that's not generating value, you've got to kill it as quickly as possible to get to those ones that are developing value. So you talk to customers, you come back. You talk to the customers again, and you come back. Each time reducing the number of concepts you've got. Each time increasing your knowledge about what the value is to the customer. And you're trying to get around this build, test, learn cycle as quickly as possible. We're doing it in 45-minute intervals here. So building an idea, testing the idea, learning from the idea, and then going, okay, how should we build it now? And so we go to sketches. So we start with the idea, and we go to a sketch. Sketch out the idea, add a bit more detail, increasing the fidelity, so the customers can have a more in-depth conversation with you, and you get deeper feedback. And again, increase the fidelity, increase the quality, so you get the feedback. Customers are liking it. Okay, well, let's start talking about tablets. Let's start talking about mobile. Where would they click? What would they click? What are they expecting to see? Here's a design for a hotel card with a kind of a reveal view on it. How might customers, do they know what it means when they see that? Can they imagine clicking it? You can have 3 or 4 sheets. So the customer goes, yeah, I'll click there, and then you can find the next screen and put the next screen down and go, okay, then I'll go there and go through a paper prototype. How much did that cost? The pad was maybe $4.99 and a pen and some of your time. Or you could hire an agency and spend £250,000 and 6 months later and come back with something very, very similar. But this you'll have created with the customers and you'll be a lot more excited about it. So we're looking for the minimum of the minimum viable product. That's what an MVP is. You don't want to develop everything. We're always looking for the minimum that we can deliver to the customer that they will value. And again, increasing the fidelity and repeating. So at the end of 4 days, come back to the office, we've actually had 6 or 7 concepts. We were really strong. We've designed several iterations. So now the design team can pick up your feedback from your event and start to do actual wireframes in detail, go back into the standard sort of product process where they're wireframing and testing each week. But we've got a new direction. We've got the next direction for the next 6 months. We know where we're going. And we've got all this great feedback to tell the whole company about. Another way we communicate design is that we have our internal website. So every time there's new ideas going in the pipeline and they're being tested and thrown away or improved, we have an internal website that anybody can access anytime, which is great because you want to socialize it. You don't want to just have the design team owning all the fun, right? You want to have everybody engaging in this. And great ideas come from all over the business. And you want to have people engaged in that. So if someone from marketing can look at the latest visual prototype, click on the link and have a go, and then just pop over for a conversation and say, hey, I had this idea around, we have this partnership, and we could do a great partnership here. Come up with ideas and make the product better. So, I'm going to show you a video now. It is a secret, so no recording of it, please. But actually, for those of you on the video link, hopefully this works. Otherwise, you should have a Vimeo up in your web browser. I'm going to try and switch over to it. All right. So that was hopefully brought to life some of the format I talked about, how you get out of the building, how you talk to the customers, and in the hotel experience. But I'd like to leave you with 5 takeaways, something for you to think about. Today we talked about knowing who your customer is, knowing your customer life cycle. How are they coming into their site? Do you know who they are when they arrive on your business? Can you look after your loyal customers? Can you look after your high-value customers? Know your customers' context. So where are your customers coming to your business? Are they an acquisition customer? Or are they already traveling? Are they in their spend cycle? Where are they in that whole journey? And what does that mean to your business? Do one thing well. So if you're thinking mobile strategy, don't think I need to convert my entire desktop platform to mobile web overnight and spend £500,000 on it. You probably don't. It's an opportunity to reinvent, to get simple again and deliver a clear message to customers that they can identify and act on and that they see value in. Deliver wow. Don't forget, when you're delivering a business, you want to get cut through. You want to get an image and a brand that customers can rely on and come back to you on. And to do that, delivering wow is a great way of delivering that message. It doesn't have to be, as quite often portrayed, a marketing gimmick. Wow can also be very, very functional and practical and align you with your goal, which is reducing friction. And get out of the building. Guerrilla testing, you can do it today, this afternoon. I expect you outside, talking to your customers, sandwich boards, sketches, train station, anywhere you are, you can talk to customers and get that feedback. Get it part of your weekly cycle, part of your business. Use that voice to argue for the direction your business goes in, because the customer voice, ultimately, they're the customers who are paying or using your product or service. Their voice should be the strongest. And it's kind of your roles to curate that feedback and turn that into action. So with that, I'll leave you for that. Thank you.